Hey, welcome back to the show, fellow slingers. It is I, your trusted Dungeon Master Brian, welcoming you to another episode of our Dragon's Demand run through. You know, I gotta say, it's was one of those things that we tried and tested as far as our mechanics for the show, and I think that we've given everybody a heads up that we are heading back towards 5E on this, starting on this episode right now. But don't forget, we'll be picking up other systems along the line. I just want to remind everybody, just stay tuned, man. We got things in the mix. We got things in the works. We still dropping Delta Green episodes of our, what's it called again? Sweetness, man. Sweetness. Sorry, I got so many things going on in my mind right now. It's pretty cold here. It's like 42 degrees here in Florida, man. People are wrapping up their trees because of the frost. They're wrapping up their basketball hoops because of the frost. Anyways, I'm not worried about that. But what we should be worried about is occasionally we have a Wi-Fi internet droppage. And on this episode, we want to apologize for it. One of our hard slingers was having some problems with his Wi-Fi. We try to smooth it over for the continuity of the show. So occasionally you'll hear Junior drop out every so often, but hopefully it doesn't interrupt your immersion into the process there. As always, I want to remind you guys, if you want to write into the show, write us in at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube at rollthehard20. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit that little like bell, and leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to give you a shout out on the show. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those wonderful places. And remember, leave us that 5-star rating and review on whatever podcast app you listen to the show on. I mean, we're out there on all the ones. We got Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeart Radio. We're on Amazon, and we're on Audible now. Audible! What are the odds of that? I don't even know how they picked us up, but I'm glad they did pick us up there too. Okay, I'm not going to waste any more time, so warm up your dice and top off your glass as Roll the Hard 20 podcast presents episode 39 of our Dragon's Demand run-through. Checking boxes.
But it's a really good game. Recording in progress.
Yeah, she's sexy, man. I like that voice.
Little robotic, little
Robotech-age.
little like a female Terminator. Hurt me.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Oh.
Yeah?
Glad to be back at it.
Yeah? Well, welcome back, gentlemen. All you fine sailors. Are we ready to play some D&D?
Yes.
As in Dragon's Demand?
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you like that? That's on the fly. I just made that up. I didn't even write that shit down.
You know, you're pretty fly for a white guy.
I am. I totally am. In fact, I'm so fly, I got to write the time junket down. Junket.
Sorry, I was fixing my hit points now that we've gone back to 5e.
So
Now,
did you guys just pull up your old D&D character, just like reload them in D&D
Yep.
Beyond?
Yep. And I
Click-
just updated it and
You updated hit points to where you were at after
Yep.
dealing
Correct.
with Lodo.
because
Yeah.
Lodo was an ass.
Yeah, he was kind of
Well,
a dick.
Let me lead us in, and we'll talk about Lodo. We'll take a load off your brain.
Oh.
Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted DM, Brian, welcoming you once again to another episode of our Dragon's Demand run through, and with me, the Hard Slingers.
Yeah.
Greetings.
Yeah, dogs. It's been a little while, man. I'm really happy everyone's back. We're back with 5e again. I hope we don't lose any listeners. If we did, they weren't going to stick around anyways. But don't leave, please. And go visit the Patreon page, patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast. So after dealing with Lodo, how's everyone doing hit point wise?
I'm still okay.
You still okay? Everybody's still okay?
Only down 4. I dodged some of that stuff, just dipping and dodging and ducking.
I
just-
managed to like evade all of those fire attacks that he was. I honestly thought that was going to be somebody's demise. Not that I was relishing it, but I just wanted to screen capture the face of the person that went down.
Except that Lodo kept going after the one person who resisted the damage
Exactly.
he was
Well,
dishing.
you know, for him to have left the lineup, and at times I did roll to see who he would go after because he had multiple targets, and he just happened to keep dealing with Flint, and it didn't pan out well for poor Lodo. But Stabi, you managed to procure a new little toy for yourself.
It is. I'm gonna shoot lightning bolts out of my ass.
Just gonna cheek that thing, huh?
Yep.
It's a free action.
That's right. Just
Yeah.
help me starfish this thing. It's a free.
Yes, I'd like to take a free action and shoot lightning bolts out of my ass.
So, you guys are on the 3rd floor of Hunclay's Manor, which I don't know if it's essentially a 3rd floor. It's an observatory that's at the very pinnacle of this of his manor. They really wouldn't consider it an area where you would basically live, but you guys have just finished the battle. What would you like to do while you're hanging out? Because I think I had mentioned that there were a couple tables.
Mm-hmm. Warren's going to take his time and is going to take the remainder of the time once we make sure that everyone else is still standing and that Lodo is not. And he will continue inventorying the rest of what's in here, particularly on the tables.
Okay, and there were 2 tables. There was one against the southern wall and one against the eastern wall. Which wall? Which table would you like to?
I think Warren's closest to the southern wall, following the combat, so he's probably just going to start there. Weren't there some scrolls on there, or was that down in the previous room?
There was quite a numerous amount of scrolls that were on this particular table. All the other stuff seemed to be lying on the eastern table. As you step up closer to the southern table and you start looking at these scrolls, they appear to be bigger than an Arcana scroll that you would be more familiar with. They're probably about 14 to 16 inches long and furled up.
Okay. Very, very carefully taking my time, making sure that like they don't have some sort of magic trap on them. And then Warren will probably very carefully with his mage hand try to open up one of them at a time. Just make sure it doesn't they don't have like explosive runes or other fun things like that.
Okay. As you peel it open, start furling it out with your magic hand. I'm assuming you probably put something on one end to keep it from, doing the toilet paper roll on you.
You would assume correctly.
I would. You notice that as it opens up, it appears to be a star chart. And looking at it, it looks as though the chart itself seems to be focusing in on a strangely empty-looking portion of the sky, like however it's been drawn out or mapped out. The center portion of this chart, which is probably about 20 inches when it's fully open, 20 by 16. You see that there are stars on the peripheral portions of this chart, but it seems to be focused in on a dark portion, like where it's absent of any stars in the center of it.
Okay. After making sure that this particular scroll is not going to detonate in his face, Warren will go ahead and pick it up and just not taking more than a minute. He's not going to spend a lot of time on this, but he will walk over to the window of the observatory, kind of holding the chart up and seeing okay, where might this be?
Yeah, and the window is overhead. It's like a glass dome.
Okay.
So
yeah, Warren will just take a few minutes. He'll have the chart in his hand and just try to move it around and kind of line up, see if there's any particular constellations that he can recognize that are on the chart, and then see if he can find them in the sky. And
make an intelligence check while you're doing
Hey, Warren, we're on the clock here. Can you speed it up? What are you doing over there? I see you looking at paper, holding it up to the air. We got things to do.
Are you going to assist?
Fucking
No,
little
welcome
man's
to.
complex.
I'm not equipped with appropriate
Plumbing?
magical or arcane expertise. And I hold my rapier up and say, this is what I'm good at.
And you do quite well with it. Thank you. Now, allow me to do something that I am quite good at.
Okay, hurry it
That
up.
was a 20 on the intelligence check.
20.
Damn.
As you're holding up this star chart and you're looking through the through the dome, you can see that there are cloisters of stars, and now that the sun has basically gone down, it's somewhere still on a horizon to the west. So you still have some light diffusion, but from what you can tell, you kind of get an idea that it might be in the northern portion of the sky, but with the unaided through an unaided eye, you really can't tell if this is what the actual constellation is, or absence of a constellation, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of portions in the sky that are dark, but you don't know if it's because of the light diffusion of the sun still setting further off on Galarian, or if it's just the room itself without the assistance of some other device, perhaps.
Okay. By the way, are there any candle settings in here?
No.
Okay.
If I may, I think while Warren's got the thing and he's looking up at the big glass, all of a sudden, if I may, you see the body of Lodo just fly up and hit the glass because Dempsey just punched the crap out of it. Just like, you little bastard. And it just like hits like a bug, and then like slowly, like slow motion slides down across the observatory.
And when
he's
you
like,
kick him, he makes like a noise like a squeaky duck would.
and he's just like wipes his hands, and he goes over to Flint. He's like, how are you doing? Kind of reaches down, touches his shoulder. You all right? That was a rough one.
I think Flint's frozen.
I think
doing
Flint
all
is
right.
frozen.
There he is.
Bad.
He was held up in the field goal maneuver the whole time.
That was actually really funny.
So as you're looking at this chart, and you realize, okay, it's probably somewhere up in the sky. It's focusing in on an absence of stars. And you realize that there's a lot of these scrolls that are on that particular table. There's probably at least 45, 50 of these things on the table.
Obsessed.
Okay.
What'd you say? Obsessed?
He's
A
obsessed.
little bit. Warren is going to have a conversation with the Baroness. So, after kind of inventorying the scrolls, are any of them spell scrolls, or are they all star charts?
They all appear to be in and around the same dimension of wadded up paper, if you will. Most likely they're probably not spell related.
Okay.
You know, as you roll up one, unfurl one, you see, okay, this one looks similar to the first one I unrolled, and you unroll another one just at random, and they all seem to focus in on dark portions of the night sky, and not the same area you originally saw. This is like, okay, this, and you get the idea that there are different dates too. So maybe he's watching these constellations as they maneuver through the sky throughout the days, weeks, months, and even years, because he's been here for, I think, 7 years. He's been here in Belhaim.
Okay. Warren's not gonna like do the whole like measuring them up against the sky. Maybe like the first 2, no more than 3.
Yeah, because I don't think Lodo's body could withstand you looking through all 50 of them.
No. Neither could our rogue.
If we're looking at going down to the basement, it might be a good idea to take a short rest.
Now, without metagaming, you don't know there's a basement.
Oh well, we've mentioned it.
Did you mention it?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
And not only that, but what's his name? The
Servant, Mistopheles.
yes, He definitely mentioned it and had cautioned us. So Dempsey's well aware that there's a basement.
You know, I want everybody
Disgusting demon.
to go ahead and make an insight check. Actually,
Insight, you say?
See if Lodo was telling the truth. Oh,
10.
what'd you get?
10.
10. Stubby.
13.
13. Flint.
7.
7. Warren.
My nose is in the charts. I got a whole 5.
Ooh.
Who had the 13?
The rogue.
The rogue did. As you guys are talking about your next course of action, and you guys have been basically using this this map that Grengold Lenton had provided you. And I'm not talking about the hand-drawn map, but I'm talking about the blueprint that he got from the Masons Guild house. You realize that his blueprint does not include a subterranean floor. The spiral staircase that you see on the blueprint leads up to the second floor, but that's all you see in the blueprint. You know, it's a top-down version, but you never see a drawn portion of a subterranean floor.
Oh, unpermitted basement.
The city's going to be up in
The
this.
city's going to be all up in this.
There's no permit.
No permits. Gotta go.
Can't sell the
Gotta
place.
Fill it.
Fill it in.
Yeah, the Baroness is going to be pissed.
Well,
And you
Warren-
guys have been down a little ways down in there too. So
okay. Warren is going to just finish taking inventory of the star charts. He'll make like a couple of brief notes about like what he observed with them. But other than that, he's ready to move on to the next table.
okay. You see that there's an exquisite platinum astrolabe there, which is used to plot constellations. It's like a handheld device.
Mm-hmm.
You see there are 6 rare looking tomes of you can tell by the binding that they're from they're of Taladan pedigree, and you see a couple of really regal looking telescopes. That's really all that covers the rest of this table. Nothing
Okay.
else of any value.
I
Other than what you
will
see.
take a moment and kind of inventory them. Put the for the entry for like the astrolabe will be like more GDP than the whole town. Worth more than the GDP of the whole town.
Possibly. I mean, we'll have to let the Baroness's individuals come in and make the proper assertion of what their value is.
Yep. And then once he's done, Warren will turn around and look to the others and say, well, I am complete here.
That's got to be a relief to Stubby.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Go.
Warren just makes an after you gesture to Stabby towards the stairs.
Oh,
Oh,
Flint did not want to have any of that. Okay, so you guys start heading down the spiral
Man,
staircase. Work your way down to the second floor. You're with the library. You know that Hunclay's master bedroom's there. You know that the study is on the other side. Keep piping down the stairs down to the first floor, where you're in the entryway again, and you know the spiral staircase will continue to go down.
okay.
Is there the stairs just keep going? Is there any cover over the stairs or anything?
No, it's just like a large. Well, there's a railing.
Yeah.
Like a 3-foot railing to be held onto, but it goes, from the because you had to take the ladder out of the observatory down to the second floor. Then from there you take the spiral down to the first floor, and then you would take it one more time to the sub floor.
Is there a light down here?
It's all low lit.
Imagine maybe.
I can't see well in the dark, guys. So somebody's gonna
No,
have to
this
go
shit's
before me.
weak.
That's okay. Warren's got his night sight back. So
I'm
on the
imagining you
ground.
guys go all the way down, and you find
Mhm.
yourselves once again in this large storage room. that is 20 feet wide from east to west, and probably about 60 feet from north to south. And you see against the west wall, at about 30 feet along that west wall, there's a door.
And it's the only door that we see?
It's the only door. And like I mentioned before, just as a reminder, this room is filled with crates.
Okay.
Big crates, small crates.
Can you describe the dimensions of that room again?
Yes, it's 20 feet by 60 feet. You guys you deposit yourself in the southeastern corner, and against the western wall, 30 feet along it, there's a door.
Okay. And there's the crates in here. Is there a particular smell that might identify what this room is storing?
Not from just standing there smelling it. And I can't remember if you guys had opened any of these boxes or not. I don't remember.
I don't think we did originally.
Did you? Flint, did you guys look in those? Or no?
No.
I don't remember.
How many crates are we talking about? Like 5 or like 100?
No, there's probably like 40 crates.
Okay,
And
so
some are stacked on top of the other. They run along the east and west walls. Periodically, there might be one in the center, to work around or whatever. All against the northern wall. They just cover the northern wall up to about 4 feet high.
Sorry, Stabby, were you observing something?
I'm having a little trouble in the lighting here. Where's the door again compared to where we entered?
Well, you came down the spiral in the southeast corner. And if you're facing north and you turn to the left, the wall is 20 feet away from you. If you go to that wall and you walk 30 feet up that western wall, you're going to see a door right in the western wall.
More on the northern side of the room?
No, still southern, because the room itself
Okay.
is the door is probably 20 feet, sorry. 20, 25 feet.
Okay, but it's on the western side of the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dempsey is going to reach into his backpack and pull out a potion. He's not going to take it, but he's going to have it ready. And then what I'd like to do is just start walking through cautiously and just see if there's anything down here with us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just listening to what you guys are saying.
Warren is going to hold out his hand, and then he has a very small little ball of light, or a ball of fire will appear over it. It doesn't give much light, not more than about 5 feet or so. Warren can see perfectly fine. He's using this to kind of help people pay attention to where he is, and he's going to start moving through the crates. I'll take a look at the crates. You said that there's 2 or 3 in the middle of the room, away from the walls.
Yeah, but they're more in the center of this long ass room.
Okay.
I want to ask you: is that ball of flame? Can it make things flammable?
So I'm using the control flames cantrip.
Okay.
It basically, think of it like a little candle in his hand.
Okay.
If he dropped it, sure.
You're just gonna suck that flame right up, aren't you? Just
Exactly. You know me so well.
I gotta ask, Junior, does your Wi-Fi break down every time someone flushes the toilet in that house, or what?
It
the
sure
fuck,
seems
dude?
like it.
Holy shit, dude!
Uh-oh.
Here he goes, kid. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so let's go to which crate would you like to look at first, Warren?
I'll just look at the closest one in the middle, and does it appear to be sealed?
They all appear to be hammered, nailed.
I
lids
don't
nailed
know.
down.
Thank God. You got to do something with you, Flint. Anyways.
I know.
Okay. I'll kind of motion over to Dempsey with the little flame in my hand and say, Dempsey, do you think you can open this?
Give it a try.
What?
Yeah. I use my bonus action Can I use your crossbow or your what the hell?
Crowbar?
Is it? The crowbar? Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I was
what
gonna.
the
I,
fuck?
I was waiting to see what you were gonna do, if you're gonna karate chop it or not. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you can use the crowbar.
Okay.
All right. So Dempsey's just gonna.
Let's make a strength check.
Do I get a advantage with that?
Oh, with the crowbar.
No.
That'll be first. I don't play a lot of 5e.
Okay, I'll give you a +1 with the crowbar.
Okay, cool. 15.
15. The lid pops open,
Nice.
and you see the inside. There's a lot of hay, as though they used it for straw for absorbing impacts while the crate's being moved in transit or whatever. Kind of fish around in there, and you feel a few like glass bottles.
Potions.
Okay.
I'll pull one up and check it out.
Okay.
Is it liquor?
Well, the lid's sealed and wax sealed, and the bottle itself is like a foggy glass kind of bottle.
There's no label on it?
No.
Okay. Looking at it, Ken Warren, I'm assuming, given the nature of the building that we're in, that it's some form of magic. Can Warren try to identify that?
Sure, go ahead.
Can I try to identify that?
Sure, go ahead.
He's running moonshine, boys.
Right. That is a 17 on an Arcana.
This thing does not give off any type of arcana aura whatsoever. That doesn't appear to be magical in properties at all.
Okay.
Just drink it.
Yeah, we can't inventory it if we don't know what it is, right?
I mean, that's what question marks are for.
I'm looking at you for direction. Yeah, question. You want to just leave it as liquids?
Yes. Unknown bottled liquids. I'll take a quick count of how many bottles there are in the crate. Let's check one more crate, see if it's the exact same thing or it might be something a little different.
Okay, this particular crate had about 15 of these bottles in there.
Okay.
It's probably nitroglycerin.
Go ahead and pop open another crate for me, Dempsey.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is 21.
21. You pop this sucker open, and there's less straw in there and more of like a sand. And you see these bars that are about 6 inches long by 3 inches by 1 inch thick. So 6 by 3 by 1. They appear to be almost like a clay type bar. They give us a type of aroma to them.
What type of aroma is that?
It smells very clean, almost cotton fresh.
It's not like a metal or ceramic or anything.
No.
I mean, Warren will again see if it's something that might be magic of some fashion.
Okay. From your latent observation, you don't think that this thing gives off any type of arcana whatsoever.
Okay. I'll put it down, and then Warren will just do a quick count of how many crates there are.
Okay.
And then he'll just note that, and then just like, and he'll do like a quick glance at each one and just like make sure, is it sealed? Do any of them appear like they've been opened recently or not nailed shut?
It's hard to tell because it almost looks like they're all closed, but some of the lids look as though they've been pounded on. Maybe if somebody would open them, take what they needed, close the lid back. As you do your head count on these crates, you see there's 27 of them in this room. They're all different sizes.
Counting the ones that we've already looked at?
Yeah, counting the ones
Okay.
you've already looked at.
Okay.
What sort of business was Mr. Hunclay in? Some sort of import-export?
Certainly possible. It's one of the ways that he may have been able to afford. Trust me, Dempsey, trust me, Stabby, and Flint, if the townsfolk knew how much gold value is in this mansion probably would not be standing.
Blink, Flint.
Blink twice for yes.
I was just watching.
That was pretty intense.
It just it's
Like we
Looked like you just got pulled over.
Right. Warren will look around and just turn to the others and say, this particular room will require much, much more detail. And so we will need to let the Baroness know of that.
Yeah, I don't think she expects you to inventory the mundane.
Yeah.
She's probably looking at whatever would have some kind of value that she could then report. Well, once you report it to her, she would then report it back to his next of kin.
Well, that's just it. Is like this room, there is no, like, without spending a lot more time here, Warren can't tell what has value in here and what doesn't.
No, that's true. I mean, I don't know how in depth you want to get with and how much time you want to spend because, like Stevie's been saying, the clock's ticking.
Yeah, no. Warren is basically he's gonna notate 27 crates. One crate has X. One crate has Y. Rest of the crates require significant time to inventory.
Let's just. How much time would you think you would spend in this room just to get a cursory idea?
You mean how much time I think that we've already been here, or
no? Like unless you want to say, okay, we're done with these 2 crates, let's move on, or say you want to spend some more time. You tell me.
No. Once Warren is done, like counting the crates, making sure that there's nothing that is like currently open, he's going to just leave it at that and suggest we move on.
Because I know that Stubby and Dempsey had made mention about one of Hunclay's little caves someplace north of town. I know that I could see Stubby just fucking salivating for this.
He's
thing.
Like,
what are we doing here? Fuck this place.
Right.
Hey Dempsey, when you had your discussion with the Baroness before you met up with us, did she mention anything to you about the mansion? Anything special that we needed to like stay away from, or information that you may have that might aid us here?
She just said, keep you guys out of trouble. Make sure you don't rob the place blind.
Like a bodyguard?
Exactly.
So it's more like overseer.
Do
more than bodyguard.
you believe that we're in some sort of imminent danger here?
I mean, we've already been attacked several times. There's traps everywhere. I mean...
Hey, would you want to come over to this door with me and just see if we hear anything on the other side, maybe while Warren's finishing up the...
Yeah, let's do it.
You have another candle cap that you're putting on?
I have a torch. Could I get Warren to just like throw a little fire on it?
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
So I have some way to see inside here. But yeah,
Warren can't actually like just throw raw fire, so he actually just like holds his tiny little ball of fire up to the end of the torch.
That's sweet.
And then he'll actually gesture. He'll extinguish his fire. He'll gesture at the torch, and the torch now gives double the radius of light.
Nice. So now I'm the target.
Stubby.
I'm going to make my way over to that western door, and I'm just going to pause for a moment and just listen to see if I can hear anything on the other side of that door. I'm guessing perception check.
Give it to me. The perception check.
A whopping 3.
You don't hear shit.
Do I see anything coming from underneath the door? Any light?
No, the door seems to be... Wow, that was weird. Did you hear that?
A little bubble.
Roboto.
Oh, no, it was my dice roll on.
Oh, sorry. The door itself seems to be fairly flush with the stone floor.
Like totally flush, or?
Flush enough to where you're not seeing anything beneath it.
I put my hand down by the bottom of the door. Do I feel a breeze or anything?
No, it's just cold. Same kind of coolness that you feel on your side.
Okay. And as I'm facing the door, what side are the hinges on?
On the right side, it looks like the door pulls into you with the handle on the left side.
So the door opens inward into the room.
That's correct.
Okay. I'd like to do another perception check to see if perhaps that door is trapped in any way.
Okay.
10.
From what you can tell, you think that it is not trapped. You're fairly confident.
Dempsey, I don't think there's a trap on this door, but I'm gonna give it a try. Just be prepared. So I'm gonna
try it.
Yeah, please go ahead. You're a
Okay.
little
Dempsey's
bit
gonna see if it's locked.
It is not locked.
All right. And he looks at Flint and he's like, "Sorry," and then he'll open it up into the room.
You open the door and you see that there's a long hallway that stretches from north to south. And it appears to be 10 feet wide, but you can't see anymore unless you actually stick your head out and take a peek at what's going on.
Are you guys ready to go?
Flint, what are you doing
ready.
right now?
Flint's over by Warren right now, just helping him out. Trying to close up the boxes and move on out.
Okay. As you guys have looked at a few boxes, I'm assuming, as you guys have gone through, you get the idea that most of the boxes that you've gone through, you've probably gone through about another 4 boxes out of these 27. And they're all different mundane stuff. You get a feeling that it's typical housewares items, house cleaning supplies, maybe food and stuff that won't rot. That's basically what you're finding down in these crates down here.
Yeah,
Of the ones that you've looked at.
You call those people that like set up everything in their house. So
Hoarders.
Orders.
There's another like preppers. He's a prepper.
Stagers. Like a new house or like a house that's for sale, they stage it for photos.
I mean,
Oh,
those
no. I think he's
Those
he's
are
referring to-
intense hoarders,
Yeah.
preppers.
They're incredibly organized. Hoarders.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I think the proper term is preppers who are like ready for like the zombie apocalypse and have
Okay,
like everything
prepper.
stored.
Yep.
But anyway, if any of the listeners know exactly what we're talking about and we are completely incorrect, please email us.
At?
rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, there's my man. All
He's
day
like,
long.
oh, I think I got it.
Wait. Anyways, okay.
I'll put you on the spot, Warren.
There we go.
So,
Yeah, I mean, once Warren's reasonably certain of that, or once I'm reasonably certain of that, I'll go and join.
Or they just have a
Dempsey
really
and
good deal at
Debbie.
You always save if you buy in bulk.
I agree.
So the guy's obviously worried about his money.
Extreme couponers.
Yeah. So let's proceed down the hallway.
okay. So you guys poke your way out into the hallway. And from where you are, you see the hallway runs north to south. From where you are currently positioned, you see that it goes to the north for 70 feet from where you are right now, and to the south for 20 feet from where you are. And then the hallways both go to the west.
Is this like with these dimensions? Would that be beyond the dimension of the what's above in the mansion?
Yeah.
Okay. So this thing could be massive.
And
In
you
fact,
said that
Flint, why don't you go ahead and make a stone cutting to get an idea just how much further where you think that this hallway extends beyond the parameters of the house above.
Okay. Yeah, or not.
Be a secret tunnel all the way up to his cave in the north of Belham.
I think last time when we were crawling almost in the, what would it be? We were heading to the west direction coming from the wood.
Heading to the where and going to the woo?
Woo?
Now he makes a
glamour
point
shots.
that you guys had.
He's so handsome.
I think you had
Witch's Tower,
gone.
and I had a feeling.
You broke up again, Flint.
I think when we were going down investigating the Witch's Tower, we were heading down the tunnels and heading west, like towards the Belheim, like towards Hunclay's Manor.
Possibly.
Yeah, so that was my feeling last time. Flint wasn't able to make a successful roll, but that was his initial gut feeling.
Well, when you guys went down to the Witch's Tower, you went down a level and then you started going south where they had all those prison cells. And then you went to the east. And then you went through some other rooms where the floor dropped and you had the ghost and all that stuff. And then at one point it went north and then it cut back to the east. And then you found the area that was all caved in, right about the area where you found Warren's ring. And that looked like the point of origin where the whole place had collapsed. Now, whatever this thing collapsed, if there were any tunnels that led into this room, anything else, you were unable to investigate because it looked like a lot of the debris had covered up most of that room. The only thing you were able to find was the little tunnels and then the hole that dropped you down that led you to the quarry where the kobolds were living.
Yeah.
Okay.
A secret underground tunnel.
So, but these are not cut out of the earth. These are stone laid from floor to ceiling.
Okay, so this is like a stonemason, like hall, like
Yes, definitely. So this is not a some little kobold chewed his way through the earth. No, this is highly precise stones that have been laid in the floor, along the walls, in the ceiling.
I wonder how old. Is there a date on the blueprint that we have?
It can't be more than 7 years old.
Okay.
Because that's when Hunclay had commissioned Gregor Linton to build the manor above ground. So,
I'll
Unless he built it on something that was already existing.
what's that?
I said unless he built it on something that was already existing.
Nobody knows.
Well, and
Other than Hunclay.
Warren turns to Flint and asks, do you know how old this stonework is? How long it's been here?
I could take a crack and try to.
Yeah, Dempsey just kind of runs his hand down like the clean masonry, and he's like, "Is this magic? How would you even make this? It's like perfect."
Dwarves are pretty adept. And Warren like thumbs over at the Flint, who's apparently lost in thought as he's
stroking his beard. Well, it looks like it's been here for quite some time. No more than a couple of years.
Are there any doors in this hallway?
Not in the hallway.
Study it a little bit.
Flint, you keep breaking up, man. I think you got better.
You're muted, sir.
You're muted.
I was trying to move to a different spot, but I rolled a 15 on stone cutting, trying to study it a little bit more, see if I could date it.
It looks like the stones themselves look very, very old. But as far as how they're buttressed together, the mortar between them looks to be maybe 6.5 years old, under 7 years old.
Well, there is that.
Runs
Are
his
there
finger
any
down
more?
it and like tastes it. He's like 6. Yeah, that's about 6.5. Yeah.
Why don't you just put your router in the toilet?
I don't know what's going on with it. I'm so sorry.
I feel bad for you because I feel your experience is being shortchanged. You're gonna say, "Fuck these guys."
No.
Come on, we get drunk.
All right. Please, if you're watching the YouTube, don't hold our good Flint's connection against us.
Yeah, I think Newsom's probably cutting your fucking bandwidth.
I think he is.
Are there any other doors in the hall, or does it just continue on?
Not in the hallway you guys are in. Like I said, if you look to your left to the south, it goes for about 20 feet, and then it goes to the west. Or if you look to the right, which is to the north, it goes for 70 feet and then turns to the west. But you can't see around those corners. So,
All right, left or right?
Let's
When
do
in
the
doubt.
left since that's a little closer.
All right.
Okay.
Rule of left.
So as I was mentioning, this hallway itself is 10 feet wide. You go down to
Mhm.
20 feet and you look to your right and you see that this hallway extends for 60 feet and it ends in an iron door. From where you can tell, it looks very ornate. You can also see 3 doors along the north wall of this hallway. One of them is right at 10 feet, then at 20 feet, then at 30 feet.
Just Scooby Doo it. Everybody take a door and open it.
Stabby, where are you at in the
All
middle
at
of
once?
this of these guys?
I'm in the middle of the pack.
Okay, what is everybody's marching order? Let's get that down.
Probably,
MC is the front.
I was going to say probably Dempsey's front. Warren can see just fine with or without the torch, so Warren will take second.
Flint's down. Man,
You bringing up the rear, Flint?
that's fine.
Don't extend beyond that Cat 6 cable, all right?
Is it still
23
low
foot.
light? It's still low light in here, other than the light.
If the light ever changes, I'll let you guys know. But for the sake of running the AP, let's just say everything in here right now is low lit.
Well, right now the
except
torch,
for Warren's torch.
Yeah.
And-
Well, Dempsey's
No,
torch.
Dempsey's torch.
Okay.
So just for reference, a normal torch gives 20 feet of bright light and then another 20 feet of dim light or low light. Warren can double that, which is what he's doing. So it's 40 and then 40.
Okay. Well, you could definitely, like I said, you could see within the confines of the radius of this light exactly what I described. Even in the low light itself, you can see that this door itself is just like this dark, thick iron-looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like it's got symbols on it. Can't tell from this distance. Make them out.
What is that? Thaumaturgy you're doing with the torch?
No, control flames.
No, please.
Now, if you wanted the torch to be like purple, that would be thaumaturgy.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't do that already.
Duh.
So which door?
Let's
just go down the row here.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll go to the first one.
Okay.
I'd like to look at that first door and just see if I can detect any traps.
Okay. Go ahead and make your check for me, please.
It's 20.
20. You do not detect
Nice.
any traps.
Okay. Hey guys, this door looks okay. I'll give that knob a. What hinges are on what side?
Left side, door handle on the right. Looks like it opens into the hallway.
Okay. I am going to step closer to the hinges with my left hand and say, "Hey guys, this one doesn't appear to have any traps. I'm going to try this door handle." So I give the handle a try.
Stubby, does it have a door lock by any chance?
Don't know yet. I want to try the handle first.
It is locked.
Okay. There is a keyhole on the outside?
There is.
Hey Flint, can you toss me those keys that you had?
And Flint gives you the keys. I'll toss them over to you, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you. And I think we had what? It was a bronze key, one with a skull, and then there was one other type, I think, on
One with
3
an
keys,
iron.
right?
Yeah.
Iron key, bronze key, and then one that looked like a skull.
Okay, so I'm going to try the bronze key first.
Bronze.
Okay. You slide in and it unlocks.
Oh,
We learned
Okay.
our lesson.
I'll remove that key. I toss the keys back to Flint. Thank you. And I look at Dempsey and say, "Hey, I'm going to swing this door open. Be prepared." And with my left hand, I turn it and I swing that door inward to the room.
Okay. It actually swings into the hallway.
Oh, into the hallway.
Yeah, it opens into the hallway. Like you would pull it towards yourself.
Okay. So we're blocking the passage going towards the iron door.
Yes. Half of it. Because the door is 5 feet wide. The hallway's 10 feet wide.
Okay.
So.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, you open it up, and you
Yeah.
see inside there's a it's a 10-foot by 10-foot room,
Mm-hmm.
and along the east and west and northern walls are all these cachet pockets that have all these bottles laying horizontal with the heads of them pointing downwards, the ass ends pointing up, and some of the cachets are empty.
Okay.
You do feel that this particular room feels a little cooler than the hallway.
Okay. Does this look like it's some sort of I don't know. Are the bottles empty? Does this appear to be like a wine storage or?
Where are you guys still in the hallway? Where do you
Oh,
go?
I mean, Warren would kind of like peek around the corner, but
From the
into the
bottles,
room.
you can see all the heads of them. There's a cork in each one that's in every one of these caches that are occupied, and they're all wax sealed. So you get the feeling that whatever's in them, it does contain whatever liquid is in them.
Okay. I make an after you gesture to Dempsey.
Sure, we'll step in. He's worked like as a bouncer at enough bars to be like, I think the man liked his liquor.
I have a little secret for you, Mr. Dempsey. Is most people with coin will buy their liquor.
The drink is gonna get my drink on. So you look in there, and the room probably is equipped to hold probably about 700 bottles of wine.
Mhm.
Damn.
There's probably about
Money.
3/4 of the room stocked with wine, though,
Mhm.
as though a great deal of them, quarter of the slots are empty.
Okay. Is it literally just the racks and the bottles of wine? Is there anything
That's
else?
it. From
Okay.
where you can tell, from where you are, even just given a cursory inspection, you don't see anything else.
Warren will take like 1 minute and just kind of like try to identify where like some of the wines are from.
Okay, you see some from Osirian, some from Taldor. You see some from like North Wall.
Are these also ones that have been
Miramar.
like? Are these also ones that have been like aging for like an
Yeah,
elf's
they
lifetime?
definitely look to be high-end wine.
Mhm.
Just very fine and rare vintages.
Okay.
You know, some of them have these beautiful labels of like this large, long-ass bridge. You see little people beneath it, and reminds you of Magnamar, where they had that long-ass bridge that stretched out into the sea. You know, one of them was like the Eye of Ebadango will get you high drink, and you know, shit like that. Just all kinds of different vintages and things of that nature.
Nice. And it is all wine, not other liquor.
Unless you start popping the corks and tasting what they are, and if you've been to each one of these different lands,
just
you may
curious.
not know. I mean, dwarves think that spirits are, you know, that's like hard ass rum whiskey and shit like that. You know, dwarves think of that as just flavored water. So
Spicy water.
Yeah, this stuff is nothing to him.
Yeah,
Right.
you probably spent a good hour or two in that room.
Yeah. Warren will just kind of like nod the others and say, I don't think that there's anything that needs to be specifically noted in here. Wine room for the connoisseur.
Okay,
Step back out and head to the next door.
Yes.
next door.
Is there
Store-
writing on this door as well?
No,
You
there
said
was no
there's, like-
writing on the first door.
Oh, okay.
None of these 3 doors seem to have any writing on it. It's just the one that's all the way down to the west. The big iron door
Iron
seems
door.
to have
Okay.
symbols and whatnot on those.
So one has a sign that says wine.
Oh,
And the next one says bathroom, men's bathroom.
Yeah.
So I'll go up to that second door, which is you said was they're 20 feet apart between the first and the second.
10 feet apart.
10 feet. Okay. And I am
that right?
going to
Yeah,
I'm
10
gonna-
feet apart.
do another perception check, see if I see any trap.
Okay.
Ooh, 20 again.
You do not
Nice.
detect any traps. This door opens the exact same way that the other one would, with the hinges on the left, handle on the right, looks like it comes out into the hallway as well.
Okay, I'm going to try that handle again.
It is locked.
Hey, Flint, can I have those keys again?
Sure thing. Hold on to it until we clear this room.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
Nice little Foley work there.
Stick it in the lock.
Bronze key.
Okay. And you hear the lock disengage. Chink.
Okay, I remove the key. I place it into my bag, and I will open that door into the hallway. I'm going to be kind of behind the door, but kind of off to the side of it.
And you see in this 10 by 10 room, you see just large caches of sides of beef, pork, mutton, fowl, fish, and all of them. But the problem is that you see them through what appears to be a large wall of ice, as though they're on the other side of this wall of ice. You see them on different hooks. You see them on different shelves.
It's like an Amish ice house in here.
You feel this
I can't go in there and pull like a
cold
rocky,
air just
break some bones.
eking
Right.
out and permeating into your skin as you just can't help but start shaking a little just with the enormity of frost that is, the cold air that's coming out of this small ass room.
Is the entire length of the room this ice wall?
It is.
Interesting. How do you guys think that they get the meat from the other side?
I'm sure there was some sort of charm or something that would precede the ice wall, possibly a password.
Boy, it's hot in here. Does the
Baby.
ice melt?
No, that's not it.
Warren will take just a quick second and glance in and see if he can note any inscriptions or anything that might be like a passphrase for the wall.
Okay, make a perception check.
That is a 14.
The passphrase is ice, ice baby.
Yeah, you don't see anything that might give you any indication as to what created this. But as you're looking, make an Arcana check.
Get us some steaks, dog.
Right.
That one's a little better. That's a 19.
19. You could definitely tell that this wall was not naturally created. This actually looks as though it's some kind of a spell, most likely a wall of ice that's been created to encapsulate all these items.
Yeah.
Encapsulate or encapsule?
In case.
In case you want to use the word encapsule.
Any of his helpers or whatever would have
English
had
majors, we are not.
No.
No, we have an English major here.
Oh, do we?
You've
Yes,
got,
that's why.
you got to understand that I'm way outside of my sleepy time over here. But anyways, that's what you get in this room right here.
Okay. Warren just kind of like shakes his head after doing like a quick look around. Well, we found the pantry, or the butcher room. Let's.
Besides the big door, this whole underground seems pretty mundane so far.
Agree.
Why keep it a secret?
Yeah, I'm sure the answer to that will be behind the large door. Let's just make sure that there's no other surprise waiting for us in this other door before we go
Always
knocking
cautious.
on some iron.
So I'll move down to the third door and again try the door handle.
It is locked. Warren,
Okay.
where are you at, Warren?
I was probably just like inside the door and then suggested that we just check this last door before moving on to the iron door. And I would imagine I'm probably about to turn out of the doorway and leave as Stabby gets up to the next door.
Okay. As you hear this sonic blast come out of the lock, just as he's checking this trap, and I need you to make a con save, Stubby.
I didn't say I was checking the trap yet.
I thought you said you were.
No, I said I tried the door handle.
Okay, it is locked.
Okay.
Blah blah blah.
I just said I tried the handle. I didn't. Okay.
I'm gonna mute this motherfucker right now.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Is
the
there-
kobolds
there's-
found us.
Yeah, the kobold found us. Okay,
It
so
is
you
locked.
said okay, but you did say that I basically triggered a sonic trap by trying the door handle.
I thought you were unlocking it.
No, I
that's
just
probably my
was
bad.
trying the handle. Just trying the handle.
That would trigger it though.
Just trying the handle would trigger.
Yeah.
It. Okay. What do I need to roll for damage?
No, you need to make a con save.
Con save. That would be a 15.
Okay, you're gonna take half
Not
this.
bad.
You take 3 points of sonic damage as this thing just blasts you. Wah, wah, wah.
That's the half damage.
That's the half damage, yeah.
Okay.
Get like a little droplet of blood coming down like your ear.
And you hear it reverberate and then just die off.
I gotta shake it off, shake my head, and it's like, whoa. Guess I should have checked for the trap before I tried that door handle.
Check the other two.
Well, the problem is that's why I wanted to know where Warren was at, because he probably could have detected that as he was coming out and you're fiddling with the handle.
That's okay. I took the damage for everybody, so it's good.
You're a
We
sweetheart.
we appreciate your contributions, Taffy.
So that sonic trap though is a one-shot deal, right?
One shot.
Okay. I'll remove the keys from my bag, and I will try the bronze key again. See if third time's a charm.
And again, the door unlocks.
Okay. Hey guys, there was a sonic trap here, so I think this room may have some interesting items in it.
What was that? I can't hear you.
He's like screaming because he can't hear himself talking. And maybe some interesting items.
Why are you yelling?
I tuck my keys back into my bag and I open the door.
My
back into the
keys.
hallway.
I gave it to him for 10 minutes.
The
Okay.
keys that have been lent to me.
You open the door and you see another 10 by 10 room with a bench in the back with almost looks like a hutch on top with little cubby holes all along the back side of it.
The MC really wants to go in first.
Cubby holes or glory holes?
Cubby holes.
Unzip and find out.
What you don't know is that those glory holes there are actually mimics.
Oh, God.
Shit.
It's good for a
The
little,
worst
though.
kind.
Tell me what you want to do.
Dempsey will step into the room.
Okay. You get this strong smell of like pungent herbs, some sweet
Reefer.
stenchers.
Is it sticky?
No, it feels almost as though like I remember when I'd go to my grandparents' house and my grandfather would smoke a pipe or a cigar, and through the years it would just hang in the air.
Like a humidor?
You get that. What's that?
Maybe it's like a humidor.
But it doesn't smell like any type of smoking weed. So
Interesting.
Hmm.
I'll follow Dempsey after, making sure that nothing else goes off.
okay.
Can I check for any danger? Any
Sure.
bare
Tell me.
rugs laying around?
Yeah, the floor is completely stone.
Oh, I rolled a 1, so I don't see shit.
Nope, you see Warren just push right past you. Warren, as you looking at these different cubby holes, tell me what you want to do. They look like little pull-out drawers.
Okay. So, what is the sense of this room from the sensibilities of a very experienced practitioner of the arcane arts?
You would get the sense that what you're smelling are rare components, stuff that you probably haven't
Ooh.
smelled in a couple hundred years.
Mm-hmm.
Things that you knew helped you pass your test,
Okay.
given to you by some individual, the knowledge.
So, Warren will like look around and you guys like kind of like see him like close his eyes and like take in the scent, and he goes like, that is ginseng, that is dragon's wort, that is black mushrooms. And then afterwards he says, be very careful what you touch in here. I believe this was his spell component, possibly storage. Some of these things might actually be a bit more dangerous. Warren's gonna take a moment and look around and see if there is anything that catches his eyes that would be a particularly rare spell component.
Well, they're all in little cupboards, like little pull drawers.
Are any of them labeled?
None of them are labeled.
Interesting.
You'd almost get an idea that an individual like Hunclay probably wouldn't label his shit. Most likely he would know exactly
what is in what.
Yeah, exactly. And what he would need to complete whatever spell component he would require for a particular spell.
Okay. Warren will just see it, like he'll take a second and just make sure that there's nothing else of note in there. And then he will put an entry on the inventory of spell component storage. Be very, very careful in here.
Yeah.
I figured you're gonna start popping them open.
Yeah, he's got a little pouch of zigzags on the bench and shit, you know.
Some papers. Hell yeah.
No.
And that's... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, no, Warren thinks that this is a room that does need to be very meticulously gone through, and there could potentially be a large amount. There could potentially be an incredible value of items in here, but it's something that's going to require some very careful time and someone who's able to take the appropriate magical precautions.
And that might be the individuals that come in and actually put a value on the stuff, because they're not asking you to do that to,
like every little thing.
Yeah, they just want you to inventory the stuff. So,
yeah, we're just the do boys.
Well, she made a specific request that not only do you inventory, but she believes that Hunclay's manor has traps and stuff, and she wants to make sure that you disarm the traps, whether by falling on them or whatever, you know.
We're getting eaten by them in the case of the bear rug.
Very well. If we're done with the old sticky icky room, you all want to run to the ornate room?
Yeah, I think that's the last door down here, right?
It is.
Yes.
And from where you are, it's about another 30 feet to the west.
Okay.
I will be very careful because I still feel like there's another pit trap in here waiting on us.
Okay. Tell me what you want to do as you proceed to the final door.
So just torch out. He's looking and he's probably moving like half speed, just putting his foot down, kind of testing weight, putting his foot down, testing weight, that kind of thing. Just like right foot moving almost like in a boxer stance, kind of half back, half back.
You want to make a perception check?
12.
12? From what you can tell as you're making your way down, step, torch, you don't detect anything abnormal as you progress down. You just don't detect any traps whatsoever or anything else like that.
He's like, seems good.
Warren will take a second and will, as we get closer to the door, see if he can make out the inscriptions on it.
Okay. Why don't you make that Arcana check for me, please?
Certainly. Is it not a specific language?
It may not be. All I know is I have a particular number I'm looking for.
Is the number 20?
That's higher than the number I'm looking for.
Oh, hey.
You see that these are particular symbols, in fact, not words. And you recognize that they are obscure glyphs employed to imprison dangerous summoned creatures.
So like Dempsey's doing this, and I kind of imagine like we're at this point we're about like 15 feet, like Dempsey's 15 feet away from the door.
You're going 20, 15. Getting up to the 10, you could see over
And then
his shoulder. 'cause
Warren
you're the
just
next one in
reaches
line.
right.
He's just
Warren
like, hell
just
yeah, let's
reaches
open it
out
up. Oh,
and like just grabs Dempsey and is like, "No, we don't want anything. We may have to deal with this door. I'm quite certain we will.
Yeah,
but
you
I'd
will.
much rather check everything else out first."
understood.
Well, let's take that up next session.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
I'm glad I didn't fall in a pit.
Maybe
Yep.
you should find one. There's always next week.
The only thing that kept falling was my internet.
Your internet
Oh.
sucks, dude. Why don't you
Dude,
just
Definitely.
I don't know my
man?
router, dude. I don't know. I don't know. It's only on.
The toilet.
on Wednesdays. Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeart Radio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, leave us that 5-star rating and review. We've also got a YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20, so if you're into watching, head on over there and hit that like bell, and don't forget to subscribe. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to check us out and look for us out there. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com, or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com, where you can also download the current show directly and view our archives and galleries. We got a lot of interesting stuff posted there, so head on over. And finally, join us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So until next session, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.